In a sacred moment, under the flickering candlelight of the Church of Santa Cristina, the air thick with incense, Father Peter raises the host, only for it to begin bleeding, a shocking affirmation of faith that ripples through the stunned congregation. Gasps fill the air as doubt transforms into awe, and a young boy named Carlo, miles away, feels the weight of this miracle ignite his heart. What began as a simple quest for knowledge soon morphs into a profound journey, weaving the threads of history and spirituality into a digital tapestry of hope. But to understand how this miracle sparked a global movement of faith, we must first explore the path that led him here. You won't believe what happened next, but before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. Carlo Acutis sat at his desk, the soft glow of the computer screen illuminating his young face. His fingers danced across the keyboard, a cascade of light tapping gently as he delved deeper into the world of Eucharistic miracles. There was an undeniable spark of curiosity that fueled him, driving his desire to uncover the divine intersections of faith and history. As he scrolled through pictures and accounts, one story caught his eye: the Eucharistic miracle of Bolsena. Something about it felt different. It wasn't just another tale of wonder, it was steeped in turmoil, faith, and the human experience. He leaned in closer, captivated by the details of the miraculous event that took place centuries ago. Father Peter, a priest who harbored deep doubts about the true presence of Christ in the Eucharist, had been preparing for a pilgrimage to Rome. As Carlo read, he could almost feel the internal struggle of the man, a conflict that mirrored the uncertainties faced by many believers. The doubts gnawed at Father Peter, clinging to him like shadows on a sunlit day. In a moment of desperation, he journeyed to Bolsena, where history was waiting to unfold. The sun set on the horizon, casting warm tones of orange and pink across the landscape, a vivid backdrop for the tension that soon played out in the Church of Santa Cristina. Carlo could envision the sacred space filled with the reverent murmurs of worshippers. He felt his heart race as he imagined the scene, the aroma of incense filling the air, mingling with the whispers of prayers and the flicker of candlelight. As he read on, the pivotal moment blossomed on the screen before him. During the Mass, as Father Peter raised the host, something inexplicable happened. The host began to bleed, transforming the priest's crisis of faith into a shocking affirmation of the divine. Carlo felt a chill down his spine, a mixture of awe and disbelief consuming him. He could almost hear the gasps of the congregation and sense the turmoil within Father Peter, his faith questioned, now confronted by an undeniable miracle. The words leaped off the page as Carlo immersed himself in the emotional depth of the event. The historical significance loomed large, and he realized this was more than just a story. It was a testament to faith, doubt, and the ever-present desire for connection with the divine. The implications of such an event echoed through centuries, bridging the past with the present. As his mother called for him to join the family for dinner, Carlo reluctantly closed his laptop, though his mind remained entrenched in the miracles he had just encountered. The pasta served on their family table seemed to lose its flavor as thoughts of Father Peter and his pilgrimage swirled in his head. He glanced at his parents, their laughter ringing clear, yet a yearning sparked within him. He wished to explore these miraculous truths, to understand the depth of the faith that had shaped his upbringing. His parents, devout in their Catholic faith, shared stories of their own experiences, moments when they felt the touch of God in their lives. Carlo's heart swelled with pride, yet hungered for an experience of his own. He envisioned walking the cobbled streets of Orvieto, witnessing the history and marvel right in front of him. The palpable connection between the past and present called to him with urgency. Filled with an insatiable desire to learn more, Carlo's nights were consumed with research. He eagerly typed in search terms, navigating through countless pages, documenting the miracles of the Eucharist, each click bringing him closer to understanding the miraculous blood-stained corporal linked with the Bolsena event. He imagined himself there in the moment, alongside Father Peter, grappling with doubt and marveling at the incredible truth unveiled before him. It was more than just scholarly research, it was personal. Each story resonated within his awareness, igniting a fervid flame in his heart. Carlo knew the significance of his life intertwined with faith. As he paused amidst his exploration, he reflected on the deeper connection. This was his calling, intertwined with curiosity, technology, and the power of belief. Carlo took a deep breath, his spirit invigorated with purpose. It was time to set forth on his own pilgrimage, one that would bridge the sacred and the digital. Fueled by inspiration, he began to formulate a plan, a journey to Orvieto where the corporal lay, waiting to be experienced. As he prepared for this monumental undertaking, a thought flickered through his mind. What would Father Peter have felt at that defining moment? Carlo's heart raced with excitement, but the weight of the journey lay heavy with expectation. Questions filled him as he began to draft his ambitions, a pilgrimage that would not only showcase the miracle, but also lay a foundation for sharing this faith with others through his own digital lens. He had no idea then that this moment of reflection would mark the beginning of a legacy that would connect faith and technology, inspiring lives for generations to come. How could one young boy's passion ignite the flames of faith across the world? Unbeknownst to him, the answers were waiting just around the corner. The sun filtered softly through the stained glass windows of the Church of Santa Cristina, casting colorful beams onto the stone floor. The air was thick with anticipation as the congregation gathered, their murmurs blending with the faint scent of incense wafting through the sacred space. Carlo Acutis could sense the wonder and excitement radiating from the worshippers, each one drawn to this moment of spiritual awakening. At the front of the church stood Father Peter, his heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and fervor. He clutched the sacred host tightly, his mind racing with doubt as he prepared to celebrate the Mass. The weight of his skepticism hung around him like a dark cloud, pressing down on his spirit. He had been struggling with his faith, questioning the true presence of Christ in the Eucharist. This Mass was meant to be a pivotal moment, but would it offer the answers he so desperately sought? As Father Peter elevated the host, a hush fell over the congregation. The flickering of candles created a warm glow, illuminating the lines of worry etched across his face. It was in this moment of silence that the unimaginable occurred. The host, once a simple symbol of faith, began to bleed. Gasps echoed through the church, the sound sharp and harrowing. Eyes widened in disbelief as crimson droplets began to seep from the host, staining the pristine linen cloth that adorned the altar. Carlo, miles away in his bedroom, was entranced by the images and recordings that soon flooded the internet. Each video, each testimony brought him closer to the reality of what had transpired. Father Peter's world turned upside down as the realization struck him. He staggered back, emotions swirling within him, fear, amazement, and an awakening faith. Driven by instinct, he knelt before the altar, tears streaking down his cheeks as he grappled with the overwhelming sight before him. The miracle he had doubted transformed into a powerful affirmation of his beliefs, shaken yet renewed in the face of divine intervention. The congregation, now caught in a wave of fervor, responded to the spectacle. Some wept and others raised their hands in praise, filled with the understanding that something extraordinary was taking place in their midst. Carlo wished he could have been there, witnessing the miracle unfold in real time, feeling the atmosphere charged with spirituality and wonder. He reflected on how witnessing such a moment could bolster anyone's faith, pulling them deeper into the embrace of belief. Histories of old echoed in his mind, the stories of the saints who had experienced visions, the lifetimes of devotion that had breathed life into the Church's traditions. The significance of this occurrence was profound, not just in the context of Father Peter's journey, but for every person who had ever doubted. The miracle of Bolsena was not merely an event captured in time. It was a vivid manifestation of the divine love and compassion offered to humanity. As the Mass continued, the priest's voice grew stronger, fortified by renewed conviction. The words he spoke reverberated through Carlo's mind, igniting his yearning to share this essential experience with the world. The threads of history began to weave together, centuries of faith and doubt echoed in a single moment. He realized this was more than a story, more than a miracle, it was the heart of faith itself. He imagined how he could document the significance of the event, weaving together the narratives of those who had gathered. His heart raced at the thought of bringing to life the stories of witnesses, the elderly gentleman who had traveled from afar, the young couple expecting their first child, the skeptic whose doubts melted away in an instant. They were all part of this divine tapestry, each thread a testament to the transformative nature of faith when faced with the miraculous. The echoes of the church began to dissolve in his thoughts as he envisioned his own pilgrimage. He pictured himself standing within those hallowed walls, feeling the sacredness in the air as he absorbed the history surrounding him. Would he witness an event like Father Peter's? Could he immerse himself in the same spirit of wonder and connection? Carlo's excitement intensified as he envisioned showcasing the miracle on his platform, eager to reach others through social media. He envisioned creating a vivid portrayal that blended his digital savvy with the essence of faith, the photographs, the testimonials, and his insights melding into a virtual experience that could touch hearts across much of the world. While Father Peter knelt in heartfelt prayer, another thought crept into Carlo's mind. How could he invite others to connect with the same spiritual awakening that he sought to experience? The realization unfolded slowly, like a flower blooming at dawn. He could document not just the miracles but the stories of the faithful, transforming doubt into truth, skepticism into belief. The more he considered it, the more he felt the weight of responsibility resting on his young shoulders. This was his calling. The tension between faith and technology now seemed seamless, a canvas upon which stories could be painted, bringing the sacred to the fingertips of those yearning for meaning. Carlo envisioned breathtaking visuals of the cathedral's grandeur, the delicate detail of the blood-stained corporal, and the enchanting narratives shared by those in attendance. He would capture the essence of the moment, intertwining the past with the present in a way that would resonate with those far and wide. As the Mass concluded, the congregation erupted in applause, tears of joy marking their cheeks. Father Peter stood before them, imbued with an unwavering resolve. His faith had been restored in the most extraordinary way. Amid the celebration and gratitude, Carlo's heart brimming with anticipation, believed he was witnessing the start of something powerful. What legacies would emerge from that sacred day? Unbeknownst to Carlo, the unfolding tapestry of his own journey was just beginning, with the echoes of Father Peter's miracle resonating through the corridors of time, waiting for a young boy to share the story with the world. Carlo Acutis awoke early that morning, the sun just beginning to rise, flooding his room with a warm hue. The excitement bubbled within him like the morning light, promising a new beginning. Today was the day he would embark on his pilgrimage, a journey that would take him across Italy to the historic city of Orvieto, where the blood-stained corporal from the miracle of Bolsena remained safeguarded in the cathedral. His heart raced as he gathered his belongings, filled his bag with essentials, camera, notebook, and a small travel Bible gifted to him by his parents. These items weren't just tools, they were extensions of his faith. Each represented a piece of himself, a means through which he could document, witness, and share the miracle with both the digital world and the sacred one. After a hurried breakfast, where his parents exchanged glances of both pride and concern, Carlo set off. He felt the weight of his calling heavier than the backpack slung over his shoulder. The journey to the train station was alive with the bustling sound of city life, cars whooshing by, vendors setting up their carts, and the distant chime of church bells echoing through the streets. As he briskly walked, every step felt intentional, propelling him closer to something that would define his journey. The train ride was a vivid tapestry of sights and sounds. Passengers around him were absorbed in their own worlds, some lost in books, others glued to smartphones. Carlo, however, gazed out the window, watching the Italian countryside blur into a picturesque landscape. Rolling hills dotted with olive trees, quaint villages nestled in valleys, and the occasional glimpse of sprawling vineyards sent a rush of exhilaration through him. With every passing moment, anticipation deepened. Upon arrival in Orvieto, Carlo felt a wave of reverence wash over him as he stepped onto the cobblestone streets. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the whispers of history and faith. The stunning sight of the cathedral, its ornate Gothic facade reaching towards the sky, took his breath away. He stood there for a moment, soaking in the magnificence of the structure. It was not merely a building, it was a sanctuary filled with the stories of countless souls who had sought refuge within its walls. As he made his way towards the entrance, Carlo's heart pounded with expectation. Today he would stand where history had unfolded. He would witness not just the corporal but the spirit of the miracle that had touched so many lives. The idea of capturing these moments, of inviting others to experience what he felt, ignited every fiber of his being. Once inside, Carlo was struck by the palpable reverence that enveloped the cathedral. The air was thick with incense, and the flickering candles cast a soft glow. He moved cautiously through the nave, his eyes darting around, soaking in the artistic beauty that surrounded him. The paintings, the sculptures, they all whispered secrets of faith and devotion, drawing him closer to the heart of the place. Finally, he reached the chapel that housed the miraculous corporal. Standing before the glass case that contained the relic, time seemed to stand still. Carlo's breath hitched in his throat as he gazed at it, fragile yet powerful, a testament to divine intervention and the embodiment of faith. This was it. This was the moment he had longed for. With reverence, he took out his camera, snapping photos that would capture not just the physicality of the corporal but the essence of his experience. Each click felt like a prayer, a connection forged between him and the miracle. He felt the warmth of the presence surrounding him, a quiet assurance that he was exactly where he needed to be. As Carlo continued to document the artifacts and murals around the chapel, he noticed a gentle presence nearby. Monsignor Giuseppe Chiaretti. The renowned priest had dedicated much of his life to unraveling the mysteries of faith. His kind eyes met Carlo's, as if recognizing the young boy's passion and purpose. "Are you here to witness the miracle?" Monsignor Chiaretti asked, a knowing smile spreading across his face. Carlo nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. "I want to share its beauty with the world." Monsignor Chiaretti's eyes twinkled with genuine warmth as he replied, "You're already part of the miracle by wanting to share it. Remember, every story of faith has the power to inspire others. The world needs voices like yours." Encouraged by the priest's words, Carlo felt a sense of belonging swell within him. He wasn't just an observer, he was a participant in a divine story, part of a lineage that connected the past to the present. As they spoke, Carlo leaned in, eager to hear more about the miracle, the corporal, and the faithful who had come before him. Monsignor Chiaretti shared stories of those affected by the miracle, recounting tales of rejuvenated faith. the ones skeptics who had encountered the divine in the most unexpected places. Each account painted a vivid picture of transformation, deepening Carlo's own understanding of what it meant to believe and to share that belief with others. As their conversation flowed, the clock ticked on and the cathedral began to fill with pilgrims and tourists alike. Carlo shifted his focus back to his camera, capturing the people who were arriving, each representing a unique story, a perspective on faith that would enrich the narrative he sought to create. Outside, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden rays that streamed through the cathedral windows, illuminating the sacred space. The community gathered in prayers of gratitude, songs of joy rising to the heavens. Carlo raised his camera one last time, capturing the jubilant expressions and the heartwarming devotion surrounding him. He left the cathedral that evening, his heart soaring with a sense of purpose. He had witnessed an extraordinary event and met individuals who connected him deeper to the faith he long cherished. With each click of the camera, he felt he was stitching a tapestry of stories, all woven together by the threads of belief and love. But as he stepped outside, the questions began to surface once more. How could he ensure that these stories would touch hearts beyond the walls of Orvieto? How could he invite others into this sacred experience? At that moment, as Carlo gazed at the twinkling stars emerging in the night sky, he began to understand. He wasn't just documenting, he was birthing a movement, a digital pilgrimage that would span the globe. From a young boy in Milan to the world, he felt empowered, ready to share his journey through technology and faith. Little did he know, this was only the beginning of a venture that would inspire souls and transform lives for years to come. In the days that followed his pilgrimage to Orvieto, Carlo Acutis found himself consumed by a blend of excitement and urgency. His mind raced with ideas, visions of how he could transform the profound experiences he had encountered into a digital endeavor that could reach hearts around the world. The moment at the cathedral where faith and history collided had ignited a passion within him, one that demanded to be shared. Back in Milan, Carlo dove into a flurry of activity. He set up a dedicated workspace in his room, his sanctuary filled with posters of saints, a whiteboard cluttered with ideas, and his trusted laptop ready to bring his vision to life. He wanted his digital platform to be more than just a website. He aimed to create an interactive journey, a space where stories, images, and testimonies could blend seamlessly, much like the fabric of faith itself. Carlo envisioned a series of engaging content pieces that would capture the essence of Eucharistic miracles. He would include articles detailing the history of miracles like Bolsena, alongside the personal testimonies of the faithful who had experienced renewal through them. Each story would weave together past and present, intertwining the significance of faith with modern technology. Days turned into weeks as he meticulously cultivated his online presence. Carlo wrote articles, conducted interviews, and collected photographs, all while maintaining a steady rhythm of creative energy. He reached out to the Monsignor Chiaretti, eager to gather more stories from him and others who had witnessed miracles. Carlo's heart swelled with gratitude as he learned about the unique perspectives shared by each individual, stories that echoed the same themes of doubt turned to belief, desperation turned to hope. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, he expanded his research beyond the Italian borders, uncovering miracles that had taken place in various cultures and contexts. There were stories from different continents, from Africa to South America, where divine interventions had brought people back to faith. Each narrative felt like a puzzle piece that he was compiling to construct a larger picture, the universal truth of faith spanning across the globe. Finally, after weeks of dedication and commitment, the day arrived when Carlo launched his digital platform, an online sanctuary for stories of Eucharistic miracles. Titled The Journey of Faith, it was a vibrant mix of colors and images, blending his photographic skills with heartfelt testimonies. He could hardly contain his excitement as he hit publish and watched his creation come to life. Almost immediately, the responses began pouring in. Family and friends shared the site through social media, helping Carlo's vision reach a broader audience. What started as a small project quickly gained traction, attracting visitors who resonated deeply with the narratives being shared. The messages flowed, people from all walks of life who found comfort and renewed faith through the stories highlighted on his platform. Each comment, each note of gratitude validated his efforts, revealing how powerful a shared experience of faith could be. With growing momentum, Carlo began to explore how he could take this digital pilgrimage further still. He contemplated the idea of hosting virtual events, live sessions where people could come together to discuss these miracles, ask questions, and share their testimonies in real time. For him, this was about building a community, a familial bond among believers united in the exploration of faith. As he organized the logistics for the first virtual event, he could feel excitement and nerves coursing through him. He reached out to Monsignor Ciaretti, enlisting him to join as a speaker for the inaugural session. Their conversations were filled with enthusiasm, resonating with the purpose of inviting everyone to participate in a dialogue about miracles, faith, and how they impacted their lives in contemporary times. With each step, Carlo found himself drawing closer to his mission, uniting technology with spirituality. The night of the first event arrived, and the sense of accomplishment was palpable in Carlo's heart. He wore his favorite shirt, a simple blue one that made him feel at ease, and positioned his laptop against the backdrop of his well-decorated room. As participants began to log in, he could see the chat light up with excitement. Faces appeared one by one, filling his screen with expressions of anticipation. Monsignor Ciaretti joined, offering his usual warmth and insight. Together, they engaged in a heartfelt discussion, inviting participants to share their own stories and experiences. The chat flowed continuously as people chimed in with their own encounters, some sharing miraculous healings, others expressing how they had found renewed faith through the simple yet profound acts of kindness and love in their lives. As the session unfolded, Carlo felt a transformative energy fill the virtual room, laughter, tears, and shared sentiments blending in a unique tapestry of faith. It was more than just an event. It was a coming together of hearts and souls, creating a familial bond that transcended geographical distances. Each participant's individual journey coalesced into a powerful collective testimony of faith. After the event concluded, Carlo sat back, overwhelmed with gratitude. The conversation had sparked a light in the lives of many, and he could feel that seed of faith continue to grow. He had created something meaningful, a safe haven where people felt less alone in their beliefs. But alongside the joy came a new awareness. He recognized the responsibility of carrying the stories and the weight of faith that had transformed lives. It was crucial for him to continue curating these narratives and to amplify the voices that felt marginalized or unheard. As the sun sank behind the buildings of Milan, casting long shadows across his room, Carlo knew this was just the beginning. He was now poised to embark on an even broader journey, one that would take him beyond digital borders, reaching communities that yearned to share their own miracles. Emboldened by the initial success and the community he had fostered, Carlo began to plan his next pilgrimage, this time not just for himself, but for an entire community of believers seeking the miraculous. The world was ready to hear their stories, and he was determined to be the voice that would carry them into the light. With this thought firm in his mind, he departed into the night, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead in his extraordinary journey, fueled by faith and an unwavering commitment to sharing the miraculous with all. As Carlo Acutis stood before his computer in the glow of the late afternoon sun, he felt the weight of possibility enveloping him. With the echo of shared stories still resonating in his mind, he set his focus on the task ahead, fleshing out a plan for the next pilgrimage that would transcend personal experience and truly involve a community eager to discover miraculous encounters of faith. After engaging with his friends and fellow believers, Carlo crafted a vision to embark on a journey that would encompass multiple destinations linked to extraordinary miracles throughout Italy. Not only would this pilgrimage serve to evoke faith, but it would also create a living tapestry of testimonies that would inspire future generations. He envisioned a caravan of hearts bound together in the pursuit of understanding, love, and the divine. With determination, Carlo organized meetings at his local church, providing updates about the pilgrimage and explaining his vision. The little hall buzzed with excitement as attendees filled the seats, their faces illuminated by a blend of curiosity and enthusiasm. Imagine a caravan of faith, he urged, filled with stories from all of you. We'll visit each miracle site, capturing experiences along the way to create a platform that shares these incredible truths with the world. The room erupted in murmurs of agreement. Hands shot up in the air as questions flooded the space, revealing an eagerness to connect. Carlo's heart swelled. He felt the spirit of community pulsing around him. This was more than just a trip. It was a collaborative experience, a pilgrimage that would turn into something monumental. That week, the group grew. More individuals from various youth organizations joined their mission, bringing diverse perspectives and insights that would deepen their understanding of faith. It was not only about the miracles they planned to visit, but about nurturing the relationship between each person, creating a bond forged in shared experiences. Days turned into weeks as the group refined their itinerary, courageously planning their route to explore historical sites, Bolsena, Orvieto, Assisi, and beyond. The blend of enthusiasm and laughter filled their gatherings, serving as a reminder of the vibrant faith that came from unity. Each meeting was peppered with testimonies of encouragement, and the camaraderie blossomed with every anecdote shared. Carlo took it upon himself to document everything. He carried his camera continuously, recording the laughter, the moments of reflection, and the warmth that enveloped the group as they shared their individual stories of faith, doubt, and healing. This would be a vital part of their anthology, each face, each emotion becoming a thread in the fabric of an extraordinary journey. As the departure day approached, Carlo sketched out plans for broadcasting their experiences lived through social media. They prepared daily updates, sharing prayers, reflections, and moments of miraculous beauty with an online audience. It was a digital extension of the pilgrimage, allowing even those unable to physically join to partake in the experience and feel the warmth of shared faith. Finally, the day of their pilgrimage dawned bright with the promise of companionship, purpose, and faith. Gathering at the church, Carlo looked around at the faces of those who had come to share this chapter in their lives. Excitement crackled in the air, igniting a fire within him. Each person carried a unique story, and they would embark on this journey together, united in their exploration of the miraculous. As they set off, laughter bubbled over the bus as they shared snacks and anecdotes, promising to record every moment, laugh, and miracle that unfolded. Carlo could hardly contain his excitement as they departed Milan, feeling the spirit of adventure enveloping them. Soon, fields of sunflowers and hills adorned with ancient villas began to fill their view, and Carlo snapped photographs that would serve as precious reminders of the journey to come. Their first destination was Bolsena, where the celebrated Eucharistic miracle had taken place. As the bus pulled into the quaint town, Carlo felt the air thrum with history and faith. The group wandered through winding streets, appreciating the charm and beauty of the place, a real-life postcard encouraging them to delve deeper. They approached the Church of Santa Cristina, excitement fluttering in their hearts. Once inside the church, Carlo paused for a moment, absorbing the weight of significance the space held. He filled his lungs with the scent of incense and prayerful reverence. As they gathered together, he encouraged the group to share their thoughts and intentions. Each person closed their eyes briefly, reflecting on their past and praying for clarity, renewal, and guidance as they embarked on this deeper exploration of faith. After the time of personal reflection, Carlo felt compelled to lead the group in a prayer, his voice steady but resonating with emotion. Together, they prayed for miracles of faith and healing to permeate their journey, for open hearts willing to embrace the extraordinary. As the group ventured to the site of the miracle itself, Carlo's heart raced with anticipation. The corporal awaited them, a profound symbol of faith that transcended time. The close quarters and warm environment heightened their eagerness as they witnessed the relic and felt the palpable energy in the space. Carlo snapped photographs, caught in the sacred moment of recognizing the significance of what lay in front of them. Each image was vibrant, a captured reflection of their shared faith, hopes, and dedication to discovering the miraculous. But just as important was the spirit of communion forming among the friends as they lent their voices to one another, exchanging stories that illuminated their individual journeys. After a profound time of silence and connection, Carlo encouraged everyone to share the insights they'd gleaned from their experience in Bolsena. The dynamics that emerged were powerful, each person revealing a unique story intertwined with the themes of doubt, strength, and newfound faith. The atmosphere buzzed with gratitude, the threads connecting each heart deeper as they embraced the shared wisdom found in their journeys. That night, as they gathered around a table for dinner, the conversation flowed freely, punctuated by laughter and reflective moments. The group discussed plans for their next day's journey, already brimming with excitement for Orvieto. With stories still warming their souls, they recognized that they were bound together by the miraculous power of faith and love, their tapestry slowly unveiling itself thread by thread. Each moment they spent, every laugh, every prayer held promise. Carlo felt certain they were on the cusp of something extraordinary, and as he closed his eyes that night, exhaustion settled in, accompanied by a lingering thrill. The unveiling of a new adventure and a celebration of faith was just beginning. The dawn of the next day arrived with a soft golden hue creeping through the windows of their hotel. Carlo stirred awake, a sense of eager anticipation swelling within him. This morning was special. They would journey to Orvieto, where the sacred corporal lay, the very relic that had inspired generations to deepen their faith. Excitement coursed through him like a rushing river as he hurried to join the group for breakfast. Gathering at the small dining table, the atmosphere buzzed with the chatter of shared excitement and laughter. Friends exchanged stories from their individual lives and affirmed their commitment to this profound pilgrimage. Over warm pastries and steaming coffee, Carlo felt a renewed sense of unity, a palpable thread of connection weaving each of them closer together. As they prepared to set off, Carlo reminded everyone of the purpose of their pilgrimage. Today is about embracing the miracles we encounter. Let's keep our hearts open to the experiences awaiting us, he encouraged, his enthusiasm infectious. They loaded their backpacks and stepped outside where the air was crisp and invigorating. The bus ride to Orvieto felt almost electric. As the landscape transformed outside the windows, rolling hills and fields of sunflowers stretching towards the horizon, Carlo's mind wandered. He envisioned the impact their stories could have, the light they could bring to those who had lost their way. Faith woven through memories and experiences had the power to uplift and heal. Arriving in Orvieto, the sight of the majestic cathedral left them speechless. Its intricate facade glowed under the sunlight, intricately designed mosaics shimmering with colors that danced in the light. As they climbed the steps, Carlo felt a rush of reverence wash over him. This was not just a building, it was a hallowed ground where miracles had been witnessed. Inside, the group gathered in a more informal circle, creating a safe haven to share intentions and prayers. Let's take a moment to reflect together before we see the corporal, Carlo proposed. Closing their eyes, they offered silent prayers, thoughts of gratitude, wishes for healing, and intentions for those they loved, and felt each heartbeat connecting them all in profound harmony. When they approached the chapel housing the corporal, an overwhelming sense of sacredness enveloped them. The glass case glinted under the lights as they stepped forward, the relic itself a testimony to miracles born from faith and a whispered promise of divine presence. Carlo's heart raced, realizing the significance of what they were about to witness. They stood quietly, lost in reflection. In the silence, the weight of history pressed against them. Carlo captured these moments with his camera, documenting the awe on the faces of his friends as they took in the reality of the miracle. He sensed the power of that moment, the unity of hope, belief, and love stitched into the fabric of their collective experience. After a moment of reverent silence, Carlo turned to his friends, eager to share how the corporal had inspired him in his own journey of faith. One by one, they began to speak, revealing personal anecdotes intertwined with lessons learned through doubt and resilience. Their reflections illuminated different perspectives, each voice contributing to the rich tapestry of their collective experiences. Being here reminds me that miracles are often hidden within ordinary moments, shared Emma, her voice soft yet impactful. Sometimes we just need to open our eyes and hearts to see them. As they shared their insights, Carlo felt the threads of their lives intertwining, weaving a complex yet beautiful narrative of faith. He could sense a strong bond forming among them, a community united in their belief in the miraculous. Every spoken word deepened their connection, enhancing the layers of understanding and empathy growing among them. Later, as they wandered the charming streets of Orvieto, laughter echoed through the air. Carlo's camera clicked rhythmically, capturing the vibrant street life and the joyful energy of his friends. They delved into open-air markets, tasting local delicacies and collecting small tokens to remember the journey. At a quaint cafe, they gathered around a table to reflect on the day's experiences. As they shared stories over desserts, Carlo seized the opportunity to propose an idea. What if we create a digital narrative, an online platform where we share our reflections and experiences from this pilgrimage? Excitement flickered in their eyes as thoughts raced around the table. We could invite others to share their own miracles, one friend suggested. Create a space where faith is celebrated, shared, and amplified. Carlo's heart raced as the group engaged in passionate discussions about the vision coming to life. Their laughter mingled with serious reflection, brainstorming how they could best represent the miracles they'd encountered. As they laid the groundwork for their digital project, a sense of purpose cemented their connection. Over food, faith, and friendship, they began to weave the framework of an anthology of miracles, a legacy they would continue to build together. As night descended and the stars began to twinkle high above the cathedral, Carlo felt an overwhelming sense of joy, knowing they were not only documenting a journey but sparking a movement that would encompass the stories of many. United in faith and driven by purpose, they were ready to share the extraordinary and invite the world to witness the beauty of the miraculous. As they returned to their accommodations, Carlo's heart swelled with gratitude. He knew they were embarking on a journey that would extend far beyond their own experiences, touching lives and igniting the flames of faith in others. Their pilgrimage was transforming into something greater, a quest to sow seeds of hope, healing, and love across the globe, affirming that faith could indeed move mountains. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. To hear the next story, click the box on the left. Thanks for watching.